What's up, Vape Fam? Today we're going to be discussing the newest sub-ohm tank from Ecigator, the GTS Tank. It's my first Ecigator tank. We'll go over the pros and cons, where you can get it, how much it costs. First, let's go down close for the breakdown and see what makes it vape. Here we are, the up close and breakdown for the GTS Tank from Ecigator. This is the packaging it comes in. The color shown on top. Packaging is actually really nice. The back panel tells you pretty much everything you need to know. 3.5 milliliter juice capacity, the contents, recommended wattage range for all of the coils, so on and so forth. It's really convenient. It's just a little slide out drawer. Underneath the drawer is actually a few things. You've got the card for Ecigator. You've got a little certificate for authenticity. You've got a little instruction manual. The instruction manual is simple. It's just a little flip open piece of paper. Tells you about filling, putting the coil in. That's about it. On the back it tells you the different configurations you can use. We'll get into that in a second. Put this to the side. So inside, you've got your tank, coils, a few extra goodies. Start with those. My little bag here is open. I lost a gasket and had to pull out a spare. It does come with extra gaskets, little tank rings, and a little rubber drip tip that fits into the adapter. And here's the adapter, along with little heatsink fins that fit into the top part. The adapter comes out, so if you want to run their tip but use the heatsink fins, you still can. Or if you want to use just the adapter, no heatsink fins, you still can. Just squeezes right back in. Comes with a spare piece of glass. Always good to have. It comes with 3 coils, one installed in the tank and 2 spares. So you get the 0.2, 0.5, and you get the nickel coil. The nickel coil and the 0.5 have these tiny little juice holes for wicking. These things are tiny. The coils are small, but the juice holes, it's like little pinholes. They do recommend a thinner juice, and that's why. It is gold plated for better conductivity, and gold is supposedly not supposed to affect the taste of your juice. The 0.2 has a little bit different wicking. It's got slots. You can run a little bit thicker juice with it. Over 70-30 was still kind of muted on the flavor for me. Then we get to our tank. So up close of it, you have these 2 massive airflow slots. Because the coils are small, you get a lot of air restriction. Well, start at the top. This is the tip that comes with it. It's huge. A lot of people probably want to run the 510 adapter in their own 510. It does have adjustable airflow in the tip. Never been a big fan of it. Heracles Plus actually has that secondary system that runs all the way down to the coil. This one is just your standard through the tip. I don't know if you can see the holes there in the side or not. It also has a little anti-spit back, honeycomb, if you want to call it that. Double gasketed. Squeezes right down into this. It is top fill. This top section does come off. Here's your top cap. GTS. Glass comes off. Then you have this section that goes over top of the coil. Now the way this thing works, so when you're screwing the cap down, the top fill cap, here, sits on top of there, when you're tightening it down, it opens this up to let juice through. So when you screw it down, it'll allow juice to reach the coil. When you take the cap off, it closes it off. Closes it off. That way you don't have any leaking when you're filling from the top fill. You can see there's another little mesh grill inside the chimney there. Got kind of an interesting design on it. Gasket at the top to fit into the top cap. Your gasket for the glass sits down in here. And you come to the base and the coil. Now, the threads for the coil are a little bit clunky on mine. There's just like a little burr down there that looks like maybe it just got missed. You can't really see it. I'm trying. It's going to be tough. This is the 0.5 coil. Again, tiny little juice slot. Pretty standard base. Pretty standard base. Airflow 510. It is non-protruding. I mean, it's flush. So don't try and run it on any of your hybrid mods. It's not going to end well. So that will do it for the breakdown. We are going to go ahead and take apart one of these coils. I just grabbed the 0.5, pull a little bottom piece off. The 0.5 here is just a single wire. See there. Just go ahead and pull this out. It's really tight in there. I just broke it. It is cotton. There it is. Oh, wire mesh screen. Gasket on the top there. Gasket on the bottom. The 0.2 is going to be about the same, with the exception that it is a dual coil, I believe. Yep, there's two pieces of wire right there, so it is a dual coil. Alright guys, that's going to do it for the breakdown. Let's put these back together, juice it up, take it back up, and we'll talk about it a little bit. Alright, got the coil saturated with some unicorn poop. Screw it right down into the base. And the chimney section goes over top of that. Sure you get it tight. It does have to fit over the top of that gasket. Last tank section. Now we can fill it. Nice and easy fill. And wide open on the top there. It does hold 3.5 mils. We're just going to stop there. Top cap. Now, as I'm tightening it down, it does open up that juice channel. It's now open, letting juice into the coil. And our tip. And that is it. Let's take it back up, vape on it a little bit, and we'll talk about it. Alright guys, that was the up close and breakdown with the GTS Tank from Ecigator. Let's go over a few of the pros and cons with this thing. Cons first. The airflow is a little restrictive. The coils are a little small, so the AFC ring, even turned down to about a third airflow, is still about as much airflow as wide open. You have to use a thinner juice, especially with the 0.5 and the nickel coil. Just tiny little pinholes for wicking. Can't really keep up with, your anything over 70-30. It still wicks, you just don't get the flavor. It doesn't saturate as well. So 70-30 or 50-50, somewhere in there is where you're going to want to stick to for juice. It's got more baffles than it needs. You've got the mesh screen on the coil, you've got a mesh screen in the chimney, and you've got the honeycomb in their tip. I usually end up running the 510 adapter and putting a tip on there. It doesn't have the honeycomb just because it's a little excessive. It's more than it needs. You still get a little bit of spitback too. Well, not really spitback, but juice down in the tip. Pros. Released right off the bat in 4 colors. You can get it in silver, black, white, Tiffany blue. You don't have to wait a month for the black one to come out, another month for the white one to come out. It's not that expensive. It's 30 to 35 bucks from Ecigator USA. Most tanks are around the $40 mark, so it's a little bit cheaper. It fills a role really well in between a starter tank or a starter kit and your higher output tank. So if you're looking for something that's not quite the same output as like a Heracles Plus or even a UL Crown, this is probably going to fill the gap for you. The temp control actually works surprisingly well, the nickel coil. Usually I like to run the higher wattage coils, get a little more output, but the nickel really kept up pretty well once I got the thinner juice in it. And that's how I've been running it most of the time, except for right now I'm running the 0.5 coil, about 40 watts. All in all, it's not bad. The link to Ecigator USA will be down in the description as usual. If you like this video, if it found it helpful, subscribe, hit the like button, it helps me out. If you have any questions, anything you want to see reviewed, put it down in the comments, let me know, and I'll try my best to get to it. Hope to see you soon. Till then, keep on vaping.